Hi guys, welcome to the channel and welcome to today's video. It has been such a long time. I hope you guys are all well. So today's video is about what they took for granted about you. So for group one, we have recovery and this blue calcite Merkaba. Group two is forgiveness and this green jade. And for group three, we have choose a new direction. And I just got a feeling that there should be a group four because I just thought group four. So I'm going to add a group four. Give me a moment. Okay, group four, Botswana agate and success. So go ahead, pick your pile. The timestamps will be in the comments and I will see you guys in your reading. Okay, hi group one, those of you who picked this blue calcite Merkaba. This and recovery. This is your reading on what they took for granted about you. Um, First of all, I'll start with why they took this for granted about you. I'm looking at this card Shine, and it's just interesting to me because, you know, there's something about her that blends in, but then there's the word shine. So it's like you're able to blend in, but still shine and stand out. So it's like there's a really subtle energy that I'm picking up with this group. When I shine bright, I give others permission to shine with me, and that's in reverse. So I just get that this person, and the fact that this isn't a tree, I'm getting that this person, it's like your shine is very muted. It's very subtle. It kind of blends in with the trees. And, you know, there's a reliance on trees, right? Like as humans, we're reliant on trees. You know, we're able to breathe because of trees. But they're sort of there in the background. Like we don't pay them much mind. And so, of course, this ties into the whole fact of what they took for granted about you. And the thing that is coming across with this recovery card and temperance in reverse, it's like this is like the polar opposite or the inverse of this card sort of thing. So it's like on the one hand, there's this energy that you exude or put out or that they could rely on you for that is um, very restorative. I'm getting a really restorative um, energy between recovery and shine and this tree. And things like that. Same with Star. It's like a very hopeful type of energy. Maybe this person also had some recovering to do, and you were there for them. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be that, but there's this level of like hope and faith, um, and vulnerability that they may have relied on you for, but not in a very conscious way. It's kind of like, well, you were just there. Like, look at this card of I don't know if you guys can see it very well, but there's a woman here, and then there is this angel having her back, right? So it's like you had this person's back in a very subtle way, um, in a very supportive way. And you know, this is what they took for granted about you. You know, when we think of angels, we think of something that you can't really see, but it is there um, to sort of, it's like that spirit of hope, that spirit of healing, of recovery, of like I keep getting vulnerability with this card. I'm getting like a vulnerability um, with recovery as well, because with the vulnerability thing is like maybe you help this person become more open and vulnerable, right? Because when I think about recovery, I'm thinking about it could be any type of recovery, but I'm thinking about with addictions, and this probably isn't the best example, but there's a level of honesty and vulnerability, or, say you go to therapy because you need help to recover from something. Like, you have to open yourself up, and you have to feel safe to do so. There's a level of vulnerability that comes with that. And I feel like you've put this person at ease, um, and that helped them come out of this period of time, and with all of these cards, like, I'm just getting just this feeling of, something so subtle, that it goes beneath the radar. It's not even something that you can notice, and I'm saying that from this person's perspective, so that's why they took it for granted. Um it's it's like there's something very gentle and subtle and loving and nurturing and restorative, about your energy when people are going through some type of conflict, or some type of, I want to say, disease, or um, internal internal struggle. So here we have bright heart, light, open connection. So this is what I'm talking about, the vulnerability. Maybe this person struggles to open up their heart, um, or connect with their heart. Again, like I said, the vulnerability. And I think that you were really there for this person in that way. And with this world card and this number 9, I'm feeling like you brought them to the end of a cycle, um, that that was closing off for them. And like the trees, again, like we have the trees in the forest. It's something like in the background. I just keep hearing in the background, like, oh, that's background noise. So I think that this person really took that for granted about you. Um, just your just capacity to assist them in their healing, in their restoration, in their and it's really restoration, with recovery, it's restoration. I don't know if this person was sick. I'm getting something, it's not a physical ailment per se, because we have these two quartzes right here, and I'm getting like a very maybe it was mental, maybe it was psychological, because I'm getting with these that this is something, with nirvana and then this quartz, it's something of a spiritual nature. It's something that they struggled with. And with the hangman here, that's just confirming for me that this has to do with their perspective, or um it's like bringing in, it's like, first of all, with the hangman and recovery, it's like taking a time out, right? Taking a time out, and then having a new perspective. I'm thinking of the crown chakra, like being able to see things differently, to view things differently. Um, and again, that's a subtle thing. Like when you look at somebody, you can't necessarily say, oh, well, this person, just off the bat of how they look, they've healed through something, they've changed their perspective on something, they've transformed some elements of their life, that was ailing them. It's a subtle thing. You can't just see it off of them, like off of their physical appearance necessarily. I mean, I guess it depends what it is. But you assisted this person with this, and they really took that quality of you for granted. Um, I don't know why. I don't know why they took it for granted. Well, that is because it's subtle, but there's more to this. Conservation, make conscious choices. So again, this is above the hangman. So this is like a change in perspective, and bringing like the unconscious things to the conscious. And that's what I was saying here about this higher conscious, like a recovery of something more spiritual, or you know, I was watching My 600 Pound Life, and these people are obviously really overweight, and there's always a deeper issue as to why they eat so much, and the doctor always puts them in some type of psychotherapy to uncover the root cause of what of what's driving them. And so that's the type of recovery that I'm feeling. It's like an energetic, a mental type of recovery. And with conservation, I'm getting a really, because I asked like why? Why would they take this for granted? I'm getting like, for some reason, a really stingy type of person. Like somebody who, I don't want to say stingy, like, yeah, it's like stingy, but not with money, with acknowledging the support that they got through this process. Um, it's like somebody that makes it to the other side and it's like, oh, well, I did that. It's like somebody that's not giving credit to the support that was there for them. So, you know, somebody who had some type of victory. I'm thinking of somebody who um, got to the finish line of their success and couldn't even give a shout out to somebody or to people that were there for them along the way. It's kind of giving like an ego energy. I don't see that in the cards, but that's what I'm feeling with conservation. It's it's like a stingy, because usually conservation, you're just conserving things, like you're not being wasteful. But I'm getting that with they're taking you for granted. It's like they're being really stingy with acknowledging the people around them. And I don't, or with you in particular, because of the subtlety of um of how you've helped and supported and nurtured them. It's like somebody walking through life and not being able to observe the things around them that actually sustained their life or supported them through conflicts. Um, so they really took that quality of you for granted, and it kind of put them in a position where, like, I could see somebody who's like, "Oh, well, I don't need them anymore." Like, or "I'm good now. I did that on my own." It's like, when you help somebody, like I was watching this other video of this woman talking about her helping her husband build up this business, and then him getting really successful, their business together. And he got money, he got success, he took credit for himself, and then he left her and the kids. Like, it's that type of thing where um they just take what you did for granted. And like in my head, I'm feeling this feeling of, that woman no longer being there as a support system for him. And then him realizing, like, oh shit, like, business has stalled, like that sort of thing. And then kind of scratching his chin, like, well, what the hell happened? And then noticing all the little things that the other person did that went beneath the radar for them, that was helping them and sustaining them. So it's like the quiet, unspoken things, that's what they took for granted about you. Um, and again, it's because it went under the radar, and I think that, like I said, you're a subtle person. It almost feels like you, um I don't wanna say it brought you joy, but it there's something fulfilling for you, that's what I'm getting, in being a support system, or just being, like, loving. Again, with this pink here, like, I'm getting, like, a very loving, like, you did it from your heart sorta thing. And that brought you some sort of like joy, like when you see, say you have a garden, you have these plants and they're growing, you walk outside and you're like, yeah, like that's so beautiful. It doesn't have like a monetary value, but it has like a fulfillment sort of value um to you. And I don't know, I just feel like they really took that for granted about you. And then that's where I'm seeing the inverse of recovery with temperance in reverse. And that's why I brought up that fact of, you stepping back. It's like a mother with her kid, and, it's like a teenager, like, oh, I did this, I can do this on my own, and whatever. Meanwhile, the mom's been supporting him the whole time. And then, she kind of steps back And then he starts to notice all the things that she did do because now he has to do it himself. And so it kind of like pulls them back out of that recovery with this temperance in reverse. Um, it pulls them back. It's like that business like that the husband had, and now he left his wife and the business is stalling. It's he's not able to push it forward because she was like that underlying subtle force that was so supportive and helping. And it's not just in the sense of because I just got it in the sense of, oh, I made your life easier. I packed your meals. And I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about a different kind of support where it's like you're physically supporting them, like having their back. Like, when, like, I don't know what example to use. When, say you're a person who's really, not you, but this other person, say they're a person who is kind of sloppy with the work that they do. Like they don't dot their I's, they don't cross their T's. And then, it's like, they're not doing that. But then there's somebody behind them kind of like tidying up what they do, making sure that it goes through, very detailed oriented, um, and just making sure the things get done. But then, like I said, like there's an ego with this, right? For that person to even take you for granted for this. So they don't, but you do it in a way where again, it's subtle. You don't go in to take credit and say, "Oh, well, yeah, you forgot this and you didn't do that, but I did this and I fixed this." Like you don't call them out for it. Um and that's what I'm saying, that gentleness in that support. Um there's so many different examples I'm getting in my mind about this. Um like it's like recovery from a sickness too. Um yeah, like it was really taken for granted um because of the subtlety. I know I keep repeating that, so I'll leave that alone. And there's like an ego behind why this person does it, but it's also because of the way that you went about it. Was you went about it very um gentle and subtle. You didn't, put it out there like, "Well, I'm doing this for you and I took care of this and you were being so sloppy and I'm always the one to come up and clean up things," and stuff like that. But I feel now that they're starting to notice it. They're starting to, not to the level of noticing it where it's like they can't put their finger on it. Um they can't put their finger on it with this 10 of cups in reverse. I'm getting that it's there's something less fulfilling, because the star is about above it. So it's like there's something like they're not as fulfilled by whatever this was that you were supporting them in, um because you're not there as much. I'm getting an energy that also um has pulled back and removed some of that that grounding sort of practical support. And so they're starting to feel that there's something less fulfilling about what it is going on in their life. Um, and they're not aware, like they're not fully conscious with this in reverse of what that is. Like why is it that way? I just can feel like something is different, something is missing, something is off. Um, you know, it's like, look at you. You're over here hiding in the tree, you know? Um, yeah. And again, with the word shine, it's like you help this person shine. You allowed them to take um the credit. I don't want to say you allowed them, but when I say allowed, I'm saying you didn't jump up to want to get your flowers for what you you help them do or help them build. Um, you allowed them to take credit for it, but in the sense that, maybe you wanted them to feel proud or feel good about themselves. Um, and like I said, you were doing it out of a fulfillment that came from you, from being that support system. Like you weren't doing it for the credit. You weren't doing it to look like, you're that person who, like, you were doing it for like intangible reasons. I'll put it like that. And so, you know, they really took that for granted. And like I said, they're starting to notice it now. They're starting to notice it. Like things are out of balance, like they're feeling less fulfilled. Um, but again, like you're still hidden over there. And I'm just getting like they haven't put it together. They haven't put it together that it was you, or maybe they are, but they're not able to pinpoint. When someone tries to recreate something, it's like, okay, well, I replace this person, I'll just get another person to do it. But they don't even know what the job description would entail because it was that subtle. Do you get what I mean? They can't create a job description of what it is that really helped them. That's how subtle it was. So anyway, so that's what they took for granted about you. It's the subtle support that you provided to help them not necessarily recover. Maybe it's recovering from a business loss, recovering some health for some health thing, or some addiction, or some dis-ease, or something where you help bring them to the finish line. Um, and yeah, and now you know, they kind of wanted to take the credit, but with you pulling your energy back, and I'm definitely getting that you did pull your energy back. I'm not seeing that in the cards, but I'm feeling it with their response now, right? With Temperance in reverse and this 10 of Cups in reverse. And so now they're like, what is going on? What is missing? Um, why do things feel a little blocked off? Why do things feel heavier? Why are things different? What is missing, So anyways, that is your reading, group one. If you like the reading, please like it, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys soon. Bye. Hi, group two. Those of you who picked this green jade, and forgiveness. This is your reading on what they took for granted about you. So right away, we have the forgiveness card. And then balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. Um, so yeah, this person I just heard your kindness for weakness. Um, and I keep hearing why? Like, even as I was laying out the cards, I'm like, why? Like, why? And they really took your ability to forgive and to be really fair and to be able to look at two sides of a situation for granted. You know, I think what I'm getting with this person is that, with empathy in reverse as well. Like, okay, they thought you were gonna forgive. I was gonna say forgive and forget, right? And with regeneration it's like this feeling of, oh yeah, like we can work this out. And this is feeling like a relationship reading, with this jade as well, which is good for, some dysfunction, and like healing some dysfunction in relationships. So they really thought that whatever happened between you guys, maybe there was some type of fallout, or I'm getting a tower as well, like a destruction of something or a death of something. They took it for granted that you would be able to come back from this, or that they could come back from this. Maybe you've done that in the past. Like they had this um perception with this hermit in reverse, because the hermit is someone who takes time alone. So it's almost like this assumption that okay, I'll just give her some time, alone, and, she will or he will take that time, and with this bee, it's like she'll be sweet again, things will be sweet again. We shall move past this, Um, but I'm getting with this empathy in reverse, it's like I'm open to seeing both sides of the situation. And I'm getting that I don't want to say that you're not being empathetic anymore. Okay, I'll come back to this card. I'll come back to this card because I don't want to say because generally people who are able to see both sides of a coin tend to be empathetic. Like that is literally being able to step into someone else's shoes um and just to see things in a more balanced way. It's like you know something obviously that they took for granted, and same with this hermit, it's like spending time alone, with this hangman, it's taking time out to be able to see their perspective. They just assume that I'll give her some time, I'll give him some time, they will come around, they will forgive, and it doesn't matter how bad it was, the impossible made possible. So it's like they assume that, like, shit, like I really screwed this up, I really burnt this to the ground. Like I'm seeing this regeneration card. It looks like fire or some type of, yeah, like some fire there. It's like, damn, I really burned this to the ground, but you know, she will she will be back. He will be back. Um and then here's the 6 of Wands, which is victory. You know, I don't know if this person was trying to win. Um there's something about, like, maybe it was an argument, maybe it was something that went into the gutter, like, I just heard a shit show, um, and this person thought that even though something was kinda burnt to the ground, that they could still win in the end. They just needed to give you some time, you'll forgive them, you'll be able to look at things differently, you'll be able to see their side of a situation, and then go ahead and forgive them. Um, they really took that for granted. I don't know if this is, because this is something that you've done many times over in the past. And with the Wheel of Fortune, like I'm getting like the tables turning. Um it's like with the dice, it's like they really took a gamble on whatever, like they risked something. Cuz now I'm thinking about a gambler, right? Someone who puts something on the line because they wanted to gain something. So they were like gambling with something. In order to win something with the 6 of Wands, it's like they took a gamble. They put something at risk. Maybe they put you at risk. You know, and with it in reverse, I mean, was it in reverse? I don't even remember. I don't remember if it was in reverse or not. Um, but it's like it didn't work out. It didn't work out. And then especially with the impossible made possible, it's like they really thought something would work out. Like maybe they took a risk, it didn't work out, or it didn't work in their favor. And then they sat there and said, "That's okay, we'll come back from this. Things will be fine. We'll be able to regenerate. We'll be able to get back to where we were or come back stronger." I'm getting this as somebody, I don't know if you guys have, what doesn't kill us make us stronger. I could picture someone pleading and using like some type of philosophical catchphrases to bring about your forgiveness. It's like, well, this is just going to make us stronger. Like, every fight we have, we'll come back for it, and we're going to learn the lesson, and it's going to make our relationship stronger. um and they just wanted to rely on that, like, so that's what they took for granted about you. They took for granted that you were going to forgive, um and that they would be able to pull off the impossible with you. Like, maybe they screwed you over, maybe they put your relationship at risk. Maybe they did something. Like I said, they did something with the number 10. It's like you brought it to the end. Like, you took it too far. With this, it's like it's out of this world. Like, what you did, out of this world. Um and maybe you've been taking time, like, out for yourself, to bring yourself to a place where you can experience a sense of, oh my God, my door just opened by itself. This is so creepy. You brought yourself to a place where you want to forgive, and you want to regenerate, maybe like within your own self, because you do feel like it's possible to regenerate, to do the impossible, to, be successful. And with you are magic too, but maybe you're thinking about going the solo route with this. Like, you're really taking your time with this, and this person's giving you time. Because I feel like they're thinking, damn, that's my only hope. Um, I can't convince this person. Maybe it takes time. Like, you see how this is kind of growing, and it has to it has to grow on its own time. It has to regenerate on its own time, and that's where they're waiting. They're waiting, you know. They're waiting for you to be sweet again. And maybe there's something closed off about you right now. Um Maybe for you to bring balance into like your own, um I wanted to say your own energy system, or maybe your own nervous system. Like, you want to settle something. You want to find balance within your own self, But yeah, so that's what they're taking for granted, about you, is that you're maybe always forgiving, that you're gonna forgive them, that things will be able to come back to life. That maybe it seems impossible, but you're capable of the impossible. Like, you are magic, the impossible made possible. So there is some level of hope, coming from their end, and it just seems like you've forgiven them time and time over. Um, Maybe you've even let them win arguments just to keep the peace, or because you are genuinely trying to see their side of a situation, right? Um, but but it's like I'm also feeling a slight manipulation. Um, like, I'm picturing or hearing somebody saying, "Well, you have to look at my side, This is why, um, this is why I did this. This is what I thought was gonna happen," and trying to bank on the fact that you're gonna be able to see their side. Um, and with this jade, it's something dysfunctional. Um, you know, Sometimes people can think, so long as I can explain it to you, you're going to accept it, or you're going to be able to forgive me because I didn't mean it like that. This is just how my brain processed it. But the fact that they're kind of leaving you alone, um, and it's almost like this time around, you're struggling to process it, and you're saying, I'm gonna take my time, I'm gonna take my time with this. Um, and I'm not gonna be so quick to forgive. It's like you're having a different perspective on the balance of the relationship, you know? Because with victory or the 6 of wands here, it's like giving a clear winner. There's somebody winning. There's somebody winning, and I'm taking it as if there's a winner, there's a loser, right? Like it's not to make it black and white, um like where someone wins an argument or wins in a situation, or wins back your forgiveness. There's a sense of winning in this group. So anyways, that's what I'm getting, that they take for granted about you, is that you're always going to be there. You're always going to forgive them, even if it seems impossible for you to do so because they put something at risk this time. They still think that things will be able to come back, and potentially come, I want to put that in quotations, come back stronger. And I feel like that's part of the slight manipulation that I'm getting with this. Um, because the number 10, it's closing off a cycle. So we can start again. And yeah, so that's what they are, and that's what they do. I want to emphasize they do take for granted about you. Um, that's what they do. And it's kind of not, it's a good thing to be empathetic and forgiving. But again, like sometimes people do take that for granted. It's like, okay, she'll still be there. She'll forgive me. It is what it is. I can blow everything up. I can put things at risk. I can do X, Y, and Z, and I will be forgiven. Because that's been that's been the history, that's been the pattern, um, and that's just been what it was. And there's something nice about taking time and waiting it out, because I just heard, like, let this person sweat it out. I'm not saying that that's like intentionally what you are doing. I think you're doing this for yourself, and like I said, trying to rebalance something within yourself, or figuring out a way out of this with impossible, making the impossible possible. Like maybe there's a level of being stuck. I don't see that in the cards, but well, I guess it is in the card because it's something that feels impossible. Um, Maybe to do on your own, or like, I don't know, maybe there's a separation, maybe there's something like that where you're trying to figure out how to make something impossible possible, whether in forgiving someone else or in moving away from this other person and entering a whole different new world, which I'm getting this with this cosmic looking card. It's like entering a new world and entering a new consciousness of what is actually possible and how you can potentially be successful on your own, and just taking the time out to um, gain that new perspective. So yeah, this is what this person takes granted about you: your ability to forgive and to be able to see their side of a situation, and how to be able to, I want to say, forgive and forget, and to be able to restart or regenerate, after some dysfunctional thing that has happened in the relationship where they put something at risk. So that is your reading, group 2. If you liked it, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys soon. Bye. Okay. Hi, group 2, those of you who picked this Tiger Jasper, and choose a new direction. This is your reading on what they took for granted about you. So, first of all, I was getting and hearing group 2. So, if you felt drawn to that, go ahead and also listen to that reading. So first of all, when I was getting these cards out, I was in such a rush. I just felt like, hurry up and start the reading. Just hurry up, hurry up. I'm getting a major rush. Um, with the Chariot here. it's really about forward movement, using, will and determination and strength and courage to really propel something forward. Another thing that I got was, I was pulling twos. I was just trying to get one card from each deck. That's generally what I do, but two of these came out, two of these came out, and then two of these, and two of these. So I and then once I noticed that pattern, this single card came out. So with the twos, I'm getting, with choose a new direction, they took for granted that you could be of double minds. That you could switch up. You could switch up on them. You could switch the direction that you're going in. And then you can go ahead and do that with full force and full determination and with courage and strength, um, and all those things. Um, Here, gather strength in reverse. Focus on your talents. Your angels encourage you to gather your strengths. In this next chapter, you will need to focus on what you can do rather than what you cannot do. Reflect upon a talent you have, no matter how small or inconsequential as you may think it is. Talk about your talent out loud to yourself as if you are telling someone else. Do this until it feels natural. So there it is. It's you going in a new direction. So they took that for granted. And right now I'm thinking about group two. Okay. So in group two, there was a slight message of taking time out for yourself. So anyways, check out that part. There is an element of taking time out for yourself. And I'm getting in that taking time out for yourself, you can choose a new direction. You can focus on yourself. You can focus on what you want to move forward with, and going forward like that. Anyways, I'll stick to this reading on and what they took for granted about you. So again, here, the Eight of Fire, this is about moving really quickly, planting seeds. So there's two energies here. Um, it wasn't just that they took for granted how quickly you can switch up and move. It's also an element of, okay, Grandmother Earth and the Seven of Earth. I'm getting like you're not just moving recklessly. I'm getting someone who really takes initiative. They took for granted the initiative that you can take, the momentum that you can build, and this element of, it's not that you're just moving forward recklessly like the Knight of Swords. It's you're doing it intentionally. And with these two cards here, these earth cards, I'm getting that you're also planting seeds. Like they did not think, and they took it for granted that you could move so quickly and then also be planting seeds. So it's almost like you're moving quickly, but you're moving slowly at the same time. It's not moving slowly. There's an element of what you're going for, whether it's here it's talking about talents. You're planting the seeds. Like I just got this feeling of an example in my life where I just went through a lot of, I'll just put it like studying. Okay. I've just studied a brutal amount of studying, over the past year and a half. But I finished. And those are things where there's like persistence. There is, just the daily grind of it and sticking with it. Um, and that's what I'm getting. It's like you're taking the initiative. You're trying to push things forward, but you're still doing the day-to-day practical showing up, tending to the garden, on a daily basis. But you're driving it forward. It's like you're not wasting no time. Like I just finished, the CPA exams, okay? I passed, everything was great. The moment I found out I passed, I'm like filling out the application, I'm doing all the things. I want to do everything right away. So it's like you're doing the work, um, and it's happening slowly, but you're so driven to push that along. And the part that is really feel like it's messing with their head right now is the fact that you could switch up. You can take your focus somewhere else and choose something completely different and go ahead and move forward. And with not the right time, again, this is tying to group 2, where there was an element of forgiveness or something that they wanted from you, and you decided to take your time and to focus inward and to do that time of like reflection. So it's like you're doing so much. You're doing so much at once, you know? And you're in the regard to them, you're saying, "No, it's not the right time." Like I am moving forward. I am switching directions. I am tending to the day-to-day things that will help me manifest whatever it is, and it's not the right time for you. You know, I'll do my meditations in between because, you know, you're going heavy, you're going strong. There is an element with this sweat lodge of you are detoxing. You are detoxing as you're doing all of this. Um, I don't know if you guys have ever been in a sweat lodge. I went once. Um, it was intense. Like look at it's like a little hut and they're burning wood in there and it's like a whole bunch of people crammed in there and they do different rounds. I forget what it's called, but there was a point where I was like, "Hey, I got to get out." And I felt bad cuz I didn't want to release the heat, um but I had to get out. It was so hot. It was so uncomfortable. And I'm getting that with you. There is an uncomfortability in doing this, right? They didn't think that you would be able to handle the heat of this, to be able to purify and detox yourself from whatever it is that happened with them. They didn't think you'd be able to sustain in this like small environment. Maybe you had to do something on your own in the sense of like you were isolated because now I'm getting an isolated sort of feeling from this sweat lodge. It's like this tiny little hut. You've had to live in this hut. You've had to live away from people. Now I'm thinking of camping, you know? You've had to make do with what you have. They did not think and that you would be able to do that. So they took for granted your ability to do all this because maybe with this 9 of Pentacles in reverse, this is, you know, a card of being independent, being self-sufficient. With it in reverse, like they saw you as somebody who like could not do it on their own. Like they took for granted that, you know, you could stand on your own 2 feet and go about your business. They thought that you would need them or that you just couldn't do it on your own. You know, and look at this. Like we have attachment in reverse. We have unchain yourself, right? So that's what I'm getting with this 9 of Pentacles in reverse is that they thought that you were stuck on them or you needed them or you were just stuck on a situation. Um there is a space inside you being used to hold the bitterness of the past. Your angels implore you to keep the lessons but let go of the resentment. You don't need to feel bad in order to protect yourself from these things happening again. Take a moment now to visualize the anger you hold. Now picture yourself giving it back to the place or person you received it from. Feel the freedom of not having to hold that anger anymore. And here we have freedom in reverse. Yeah, I'm really getting a feeling of this person didn't think that you could do this. They just took for granted that you would keep moving in the same direction or that you would stay on the same trajectory that you were, you know? Like I'm just trying to think of the word. It's almost like they took for granted like that you would stay who they thought you would be. Um, they just thought that that was the status quo and that's what it was. Maybe you had a really strong attachment um, to this person, you know, to this person. And I just heard no longer, um, no longer will I, no longer, no longer, no longer. And again, I just have to reiterate, like, there's this heavy, heavy element. And if this doesn't resonate with you, I feel like this is the whole key of this reading of the sweat lodge and sweating it out. Like this was really hard for you to do. So there's an element of, wow, I don't even blame them. I don't even blame them that it's like you, it's like there's a fire in the house. Um, and you were staying in that fire. They thought that you would stay in the fire, but you got out of it regardless of how hard it was. Or maybe you stuck it out for so long that they just took for granted that you would stay there. You would hold on so tight. But it's kind of giving like when I said I started this reading with saying that you switched up. You switched up and it was like the flip of a light switch, like boom, it's different. And I'm going head first. I'm going super strong. Things are moving fast. I'm so dedicated and I'm only moving forward. I'm moving forward. Um, so yeah, so that is the reading. That's what they took for granted. They really thought that you would stay attached. You would hold on. Um, but you chose the path of freedom. And this is, I'm getting financial freedom because the Nine of Pentacles and then freedom right here. It's really like standing on your own 2 feet, being self-sufficient, letting go, releasing the negativity, the things that maybe held you back, like the things that we can sometimes tell ourselves, like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not good enough for that. I'm not smart enough for that. I'm not having the tools or the things that I need. It's not the right time for this right now. Like all of these things, it's like you let that go. And even if you didn't fully let it go and it was a process of sweating it out, it was like, because when you're sweating, like you don't just sweat buckets, like all the sweat out in a minute. It's like a sweating that's a prolonged sweat. You're sitting in the sweat. You're sweating for a while. Like now I'm thinking of hot yoga. You're sweating for an hour, you're sweating for a period of time. And it's like if you can't take the heat, maybe you step out of the room. Like I said, I had to step out of that sweat lodge for a little bit, but I went back in. So yeah, so that's what they took for granted about you, that you could switch up, that you can change your course. It's like, and you can move forward really quick. You can plant seeds, you can tend to them, you can just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And you can let go little by little. And that you're building yourself up, you know, like I'm just getting this is a new era. This is a new era for you. Um, and it's actually pretty cool. I like it. I really like this for you guys. But yeah, but that is what they took for granted, that you can completely switch up. And there's so many different elements of what these cards are saying. So I'm getting that, like I said, this is a very complicated process. Like there's so many elements. There's the element of determination. There's the element of making a choice, letting go of attachments to people, places, things, letting go of negativity, focus on what you're good at, taking a stance in terms of your financial freedom, planting seeds, growing and tending to those things. You know, it's been a journey, and there's been so many moving pieces that are coming together. Okay, they're all coming together, you know. It's like I know no one probably writes essays anymore, but I remember when I was younger, you know, I was an English major, so we had to write essays. This is years ago. And you know, my essays would be I'd write over here, I'd write a bit over there, and by the end it's like I would just pull everything together and it would all fit together, and then the final product is very smooth. It's a essay. It's, you know, coherent. It follows, you know, the pattern of how an essay is supposed to go. It's like there's the thesis, there's, you know, point one, explanation of that point, like all that. It just all came together for you, you know. And so they really took that for granted for you. Like they really thought you would be where you were with them, you know? And it ties into reading too, where it's like they just took that for granted. They thought you would be there. But um you chose a new direction. So pretty cool reading. I'm happy for you guys. If you like this reading, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next reading. Take care. Bye. Okay, hi, group four. Welcome to your reading about what they took for granted about you, those who picked this Botswana agate. And success, this is your reading. So I I'm seeing these cards and it's just interesting because, you know, I have to draw the link between what they took for granted about you and how you're presenting yourself, right? So it's like it's kind of an indirect thing, right? Well, first of all, I will say this because this does tie to the reading. So my battery died on my laptop. So I was like, damn, I got to start all over again. Like I lost the whole video. I didn't. Um, but it ties to your reading because here we have the Three of Swords and the Page of Wands, and you see somebody like heartbroken or having their heart ripped into pieces, and then wondering like, what the hell? This does not make sense. How do I make sense of this? Like these are hieroglyphics. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see it. And he's there trying to understand. It's a different language, right? Trying to make sense of it. So the part that I feel they took for granted is your ability. They thought this is reminding me, this is reminding me of someone who didn't think that you would be able to do it. Didn't think you'd be able to make it in a way. Like, you know, when somebody, you know, say a parent, like I'm getting this to be a parent type situation. Doesn't have to be a parent, but this is the energy of someone telling you this is the way and this is the way you're supposed to go. And thinking that you can't make it outside of that. You can't forge your own path. Forge, don't follow. Pave a new path. Be the leader you wish you had. It's like they took for granted like your ability, or they didn't acknowledge your ability to just forge your own path, do your own thing, be a leader, have a new start, have a new beginning. It's like they thought you would like stay where you are or where you were, and it would be really hard for you to figure it out. Like you would be so hurt or you would be stuck in this hurt that you wouldn't be able to figure out how to move forward in your life to reach this level of success, right? um and this is written all over the cards, like faith, moving mountains, trust in your ability to create miracles. The impossible is becoming possible. um Same with these crop circles. Like this is some mysterious thing. You know, people don't know how these crop circles are made. Obviously they say it's extraterrestrial UFOs and stuff like that. So yeah, this person sort of just took this for granted. They really thought that you wouldn't be able to forge your own path, that the only way that you would be able to be successful is by following something that was laid out for you. I know I'm not explaining it in the right words. Um, I guess that's the part that's bothering me. And I guess maybe this has to do with the reading because I'm trying to make sense. Like, how is that taking something for granted? Um, or maybe their belief, they took the belief about you for granted. They just thought, well, this is what it is. Um, yeah, they thought that this is what it is, and the best way is your way. Okay, so this is a very card of independence. The best way is your way. Forge, don't follow. Look twice, leap once. Um, this is very independent. New beginnings in reverse. Responsibilities, lessons, growing up. So again, this ties to more of a parent figure who maybe they knew you in a specific capacity. Like they knew you growing up. They didn't think that you'd be able to pull this off, that you'd be able to go in your own direction and be really wise and smart about it. Especially with this page of wands. Like maybe you didn't have all the information when you went forward. So you were very careful in moving forward and sticking to your own ways. And and getting like and I just keep feeling a confused feeling, and I know it's coming from this card. I keep getting a confused feeling, like I don't know what to say, like I don't know what I'm supposed to do, or um like or where this is going. um I don't know, it's such a weird reading. But anyways, I really feel like they felt that you wouldn't be able to figure it out. Um how that ties to the question of what they took for granted. I think it was just their own belief system about you. They took it for granted, and their own system for themselves of like you follow a certain path and you will be successful. Whereas for you, it's like the success was going on your own path, that your way is the best way for you. Um, that this is the way that you're maturing and growing up. Um, and that you will figure it out, you know? I just feel like they didn't think that you would be able to figure it out. They didn't think that you would have the faith to sort of push through the difficulties. You didn't have the, I want to use the word cautiousness. With look twice, leap once, it's like, you know that saying, measure twice, cut once. They didn't think you would be that meticulous or that careful. Like, I'm getting a very stumped feeling, like, I feel really stumped with this, and I'm having a hard time to just use in a clear sentence what they took, um, for granted about you. I don't even think that it's clear, um, for them or for you what's been taken for granted, um because it's really confusing. It's really confusing. And it's hidden like this. It's hidden like this person that is shining, but is like hidden in this tree. I feel like the success for you is something that's still hidden, and you're still trying to figure out like what is up with this person. Um, they think this of me, like where are they getting it? And I'm also getting to that this is like a transformation phase, lessons, growing up, responsibilities, figuring it out, having faith. Um, Pushing through, again, trying to figure out the crop circles. It's like we're trying to figure it out. And I'm here trying to figure out the answer of what they're taking for granted about you. There's no clarity in this. There's no clarity in this. This is the state of, I think, both parties. The person being taken for granted. It's not being taken for granted. It's, I took this to what I knew about you and what I know about life. Um, and it's like they take for granted like the reality of their truth of what they believe in the sense that they don't give it much thought. They just take for granted that this is how it is, this is how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to follow this path to success. You know, they don't question it. That's what I'm getting about taking for granted. It's more like a not questioning it. Um, with when it comes to you and the way that you're you're going about your life. And part of why it's so confusing, it's because you're paving a new path. Like this has to do with your path. Um, Yeah, so I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that is what they're taking for granted is their own beliefs about what success looks like, what the path looks like, the method that you should be going about it. You should be really cautious. Um, you know, stop thinking that your way is the best way. Stop thinking that you have to reinvent the wheel. Stop thinking that you have to take the road less traveled. Stop doing that, this is from their perspective. You're just going to end up confused and hurt if you go about it that way. um so they're taking that for granted, their own beliefs, and then certain things about you too, about what they know of you, what they think of you, how you were. I'm getting a feeling of like this is how you were when you were a kid, and then they still have that same um idea of who you are, and they also take that part for granted. Like they haven't updated um what they believe about you too. But yeah, but with this it's like you are trying to figure out your own way. You are trying to just figure out the whole thing. You're trying to figure out, it's like the crop circles. Where did they come from? Hieroglyphics. We don't like, how do I translate this? Um how do I stand out when something is hidden? You know, how do I live my life and grow up? Um, how do I start fresh? How do I start new? How do I want to do this? Um, so yeah, so that's kind of what I'm getting. What they take for granted about you is the path that they think is necessary to be successful, and their image of who they remember you as a kid to be from their perspective. And that is what they are taken for granted about you. Um, but I feel like you're gonna figure it out. There's gonna be some heartache in this and confusion in this. And with this crop circles, like you may think like you know how people will be a little um I don't want to use the word superstitious, but with UFOs, right? Like some people will call that superstitious. Like you may think, "Oh, this is my fate. This is like the higher realms like preventing this or, assisting in this." There's some level of mystery to the path that we're talking about here. So yeah, but this is something that you will figure out. I hope this reading made sense for you guys. There's an element of a lot of things just not making sense from your end. Um, so anyways, I will leave it at that. I'll leave the rest for your own interpretation. Maybe this is one of those things where um, each person is, gonna be able to interpret it and apply it for their own situation. But anyway, if this reading resonated with you, please leave a comment, a like, you can subscribe and leave a comment. If this did resonate for you, maybe you guys get it more than I do. All right. Take care, guys. Bye.